Hello everybody, time for another update. It's not been long, has it? I think it was before Christmas, so I think it's 5 weeks, which is really too long. But there you go. Lots of things have happened since. Not much to interest you, but it's progress. So what has happened? Well, I told you about Ian having his accident last year. Yeah, it was last year. Just before Christmas, he caught the top of his finger, and I tried to get a photograph of it, but he's not very keen on showing that. It's as rare as him smiling. Anyway, he's still not recovered from it. Really, he's now walking around with a Russian doll on his finger, and he can do a bit. He was in this last week and did a bit, but it does. When you lose that finger, that one, when you lose that one, or you've got something on there that gets in the way, that's the one that you want to bend to manipulate things. So he is finding it difficult. But as usual, he's smiles his way through it. So yeah, I haven't caught him on film, but he has been here. So I'll tell you where he's been and what he's been doing as we go through it. So let's launch into it straight away, and I'll show you what we've been up to. So, do you remember this? This was the shed that I started building before Christmas last year, and it just stalled really. We didn't get any further, but we are making progress, and I've got the new beams which I showed you. We've put them up, and we've got it pretty well ready to sheet now. We've been using up as many salvage materials as we could, and the actual material cost has been nothing. I've been collecting it for ages, so I think I bought the 3 beams for the first shed I showed you, and I bought some fascia boards, and everything else we've managed to salvage from stuff that's been kicking about for years. So when they're finished, should be quite a reasonable building. I haven't ordered the sheeting yet for the second one. I have got the sheeting for the first one. So as soon as the weather's any like it, we will get those on. So that's one little mission we've been on. So that's where we got to with the sheds. I did say that I'd salvaged all those materials. Well, it's stuff that's been left over for years, and I've been collecting that stuff up, or not collecting it. I've been loath to throw it away for. I bet some of it's been here for over 20 years, and lots of stuff there, lots of value really. So we've used it. It's cost a little bit more in labour because stuff's had to be taken down and pulled apart to put back together again, but it's basically sound now. On the second building there, you can see we've built over the top of a container. The container itself was a free gift. I found another container, a much better one, for a local club, and I had the job of shifting it, and they didn't know what to do with it, so they gave it to me. So it's just a case of bring it home. It's dry, the roof's good, but the sides have really caught some salt. So what I've decided to do is build that shed right over the top, and we'll build round and clad it in. The front doors will come off and there'll be a proper door put in there, and it'll make a nice little unit. So that's the plan. That was the second one you saw. The first one, I'd already got some doors on it, but I've made a big folding door which you could see when it was open, and that'll be done. The reason it's left as it is because I do want to paint it. I know it seems backwards, but a lot of it's been built in place. So the plan is I've got lots of surplus paint, which isn't enough to do anything with, but if I put all that surplus paint into a big mix, we'll get a colour. I suspect it'll be brown, but it doesn't matter. So we'll get up there and we've got one of these big spray guns that'll spray it pretty well without thinners. So it wants a nice day, and we'll just bury it in paint. Paint I'm not short of, so
we've got to get and do that. So it needs a nice day for that. So it will be painted before any sheeting's put on, which is why the sheeting hasn't progressed. We might put the roof on the first one because that's there and I don't think it'll affect the painting. But the second one, that's going to be box profile steel. I haven't ordered it yet because I definitely don't want to be painting that steel work with the box profile on it. So we'll get that done. That's a progression job. The floors will be concreted and you know, that's all plans for the future. So that's good. Now our next project, this is one, my mate Colin Williams, it was, why are you buggering about with that thing? That's a waste of bloody time. Well, that was the spur to get me to do it. So do you remember this? I got it all apart and I got the engine out and was all very keen to get it to go, and then I found the engine was stuck. It hadn't seized because I know it was going when it stopped, but it'd been stopped for a long time, and I left it dry and the kids had gone and uncovered it for me so they could play out, I suppose. So that was the end of that. Rain had got into it and I was still keen to do it just to prove Colin wrong. but it was a bit of a vain hope, and over Christmas I thought, I don't know, it's just taking up space. What really galled me was I got a very good deck and the deck was in really good condition, and I particularly wanted to save that, but it was going to cost more than it was worth. Probably, you know, it's a good mower and people will pay 600 or 700 quid for them, but it's no good thinking about that if you're going to spend 800 quid doing it. So I was about ready to abandon it, and if I could have got into the shed with a forklift, it'd have been picked up on the forks and tipped in the skip. But I was looking on Facebook Marketplace because I could, and I just entered the number, or put Honda 2514 or whatever it is, 4215, and up pops this Honda mower, and there wasn't any pictures, but there was a picture there as an example of what it was, and it was exactly the same as mine. So I got hold of the person and I said, look, send me some more photographs and I'm interested. And the price on it was 150 quid, which it was okay. And he described it, and he was, you know, the bloke was really genuine. And he said it was fine, but the deck had rotted right out. So they'd taken the deck off it, thrown it away, and they were using it as a garden tractor, but they got a little John Deere ride-on which did the job just the same, and he thought, why should I keep two? So we did a deal, and I went and picked it up. I had I had a horrendous journey coming back because I had a puncture and all sorts of things, but anyway, that's nothing to do with the mower. So this is what I bought. There, what a difference a pot of paint and a bit of perseverance makes. So the little Honda is all up and running again now. The boys are loving it. They're cruising around the yard doing all sorts of little jobs. We've got a little trailer go behind it. Just a little bit heavy when they get it fully loaded, but anyway, it copes very well. So there's progress for you. That was the result. Honda mower's up and running. The other one's ready to be, I still haven't got to it, but it's ready to chuck into the skip. The deck, I haven't put the deck on it yet because the kids, it's better for them without it, but I will get it on for the summer. It needs sandblasting and painting properly, and it'll make a really good mower. When I was trying to find one for it, I found one about the same condition as that, and it sold on eBay. I thought it was going to be 500-600 quid, and it made £1,200. So, you know, for an old mower, they are old. You know, it's good, but there you go. Anyway, so on to the next thing. The next one is the 35.
I missed something. Can you say it again?
That's Alexa interrupting. Another woman. Anyway, this is where you left it. So you reckon you've got oil everywhere now then? Coming up?
Not yet, no.
Good old positive vibes, Ian. Anyway, we haven't done a lot more to it, to be honest. It's still stood in the same place, but I have managed to find some of the missing bits that I needed, and I've got the bonnet fitted on properly now, and it's looking more like a tractor. So have a quick look at that. This is the 35. This was in pretty well the same position last time, but I was struggling with the battery carrier. Couldn't make out how that was. It had disappeared with rust before. Anyway, I found one, and so as a result, it's come back together. We still haven't had it running, still haven't had a chance to get it out and do anything to it, but at least I think I've got all the pieces now to make it look into a sane tractor. So that's the progress, but not much on the Fergie. I think when the weather's anything like, we'll get that out, and you know, it's purely a timing issue. That's all what's wrong with it. So we can get that sorted out. Next project was the Roadless 6.2, which when you saw it last, it was in one piece. Well, it's not anymore. And the 6.2 looks like it's gone backwards. Well, it has. I've got the engine out now. I took it out because I've got to get the sump fitted properly, and you might know once I'd got it off, it was seized up. So I dropped the sump off properly. I've released everything now. We've got all the bearings up. It really wants to, before we do any more to it, we want to get it out and give it a damn good clean. So that's the next mission for this. So it is progress. We've got the piece bent ready for the sump. So that's sort of coming together. It won't take long to do it. So it's imminent really. So that's where we are at the moment. So it's all laid here. So once that's put back together, the engine is in it. You know, really this will go fairly quickly. Famous last words. I've only been about 5 months doing it, but there we go. So that's the Roadless. I really want to get that done, but it's amazing where the time goes. There's always so many other things. So hopefully I'm on top of most of it now. So you know, we should make some progress. Famous last words. I keep saying it, but to be honest, this weather doesn't give any heart to go out and do anything, does it? Even if you're in a shed, it's still cold and dank and too tight to put any heating in there, so much easier to sit and watch the chase on the television. Anyway, on to our next project. Right, this the old Manitou. I've had it a lot of years now. It's always been very good, but we don't really use it. And a friend of mine was looking for a forklift, so I decided to sell it. So we agreed on a price, and all I've got to do was get it at the shed. Needed a battery, stick a battery on it, and away it goes. So I got out of the shed, and the tilt back rams were leaking. So obviously I didn't want to sell it like that. So I got somebody to come in and take the rams off, replace the seals, brought it back. So we thought that was job done. I was waiting for a handbrake cable, that was seized up, so had to wait for that. So stuck it back in the shed. And then we needed to do a little job where it was handy, so we'll use the Manitou. And we got it out, and the main ram was leaking. So I've had Rob Rosevear come in this morning. He's taken the ram off it. So he's got the main lift ram out now, and he's taken that back to reseal it. So it's turning into a little bit of a a problem, but I'm quite confident in selling it. It's a really good tool, and I do like driving it. In a way, I prefer it to the telehandler, but the telehandler, there's no doubt about it, it's got the reach, and that little JCB will go anywhere. So I should be sorry to see it go, but you know, it's money in the bank, and I might as well have that and use it as if it's sat there doing nothing. So it's goodbye to the telehandler. It's a lovely piece of kit. It's a Ford engine. I think it's a Ford 5.6 engine in it. And so I say, I actually bought it after I got a telehandler, so it didn't get used as much as we might have done. But it still got used, and it's going to another home, not too far away. I should be able to see it from where I am. So that's good. Anyway, so something's leaving the premises. This is Trudy. She's the new kid on the block. And there's Ernie. Definitely not a happy man, but he is getting better. He's not growling quite so much. But she's full of it at the moment, wants to be with me all the time, and Ernie's not that keen, I've got to say. But he's all right, and you heard. Ernie, wag your tail. I'd rather moan at you. Good boy, Ernie. Good boy. There we go. Not going to snarl for you, but anyway, so you'll see a lot of them in future. Trudy's everywhere at the moment. She's 8 months old now. Ernie's getting a bit staid now. He's over 10 now, so but plenty of life left in him. He just likes growlers. So I think that gets us up to date. We've got there's always something going on, but not as much, as I said, not as much as I'd like. It was in my clearing out session that I had over Christmas, I found a lot of photographs, and it was photographs of the buildings we used to put up. We put up a lot of timber farm buildings over the years, and I found this picture of how we used to do it. So this one goes back, I think it's about 1984, so it's over 40 years old, and it was before we had a telehandler. I think I might have had a forklift then. I had a Sambron, same sort of setup as that Manitou, but this is how we did it. So, you know, health and safety eat your heart out, but it was cheap and it saved a lot of work. Well, we certainly wouldn't get away with using that now, although it was perfectly safe. I built it, there wasn't a bolt in there that was more than 12 mil, but we built it, and our test for it was to stack asbestos sheets on the front of it until the back wheels picked off the ground, and then it would still go. It wouldn't lift them up, but it stopped it. So we knew then that if we could lift it, it was safe. It was logical, isn't it? I don't think these Lola inspectors would be very pleased with that, but anyway, so that's where we are. So that's me really. I've got one picture I'll show you. That'll be my outro, and we did get the tractor out. It dried up enough, and we got the tractor out, the case, and went and did a bit of rolling. It was very soft. It did pick up a bit on the roller, but nothing serious, and it certainly got rid of a lot of these hoof prints we've got about. So that's the final thing. So hopefully I won't be 5 weeks before I go back to you again, but that's it. I'm still live and kicking. Everybody else is good. Ian should get rid of his Russian doll off his finger soon, Ian. And good to go. So see you soon. Cheers, bye.